Hey everybody, it's Olivia here, and here's what I have for you guys this week in my blog Common Sense. I'm going to talk about the idea of argumentation. I have come up with 5 different ways to identify what is strong, what is weak, in the sense of argumentation. Number 1, you must identify. To identify whether it's an argument to fight for or is something to completely ignore, you have to see what is the concept. If it's a t-shirt that your sister borrowed or your brother ruined, it's not worth it. I mean, sure, you might have paid a lot of money for it, but you have other shirts. It's kind of that easy. And to identify the strong one, you gotta know what's on your mind, what is of your interest. To me, in my example, I'm going to use what I discussed in the Nickelodeon blog, whether or not the marketer should use that kind of commercial for the youngest generation. And so, if I do come into debate with that, I will know that it's an argument to fight for. Alright? Number 2, you must know your information. Now, to the idea when I'm talking about the Nickelodeon commercials from my blog a couple weeks ago, I had to figure out what was the overall or what's the information about. Those YouTube clips were all from the Nickelodeon channels from the early 2000s. When I was probably 10 or 11 years old. And luckily I was able to find them on YouTube. And that is pretty much why I like to talk about the 90s. Because Nickelodeon provides a great example of showing marketers how to entertain the youth. And by entertaining the youth, they show animated cartoons. And so showing those animated cartoons gives the children the idea to create their own or come up with an idea to expand their imagination or go along that kind of line. Alright, that comes into number 3. Demonstrate. In this demonstration, you have to figure out how to portray this kind of example. In the Nickelodeon blog, I gave you guys 2 examples. One with the How to Stay Well commercials. And those were pretty interesting because they all had to do with characters that were attractive and appealing to the youth. And the other commercial I did for that one was with the singing and dancing food groups. And one of those commercials, they were playing basketball, and they kept telling each other how when they're alone they're okay, but when they're together they make up what's healthy for the human body. And so this goes into my next idea, my next tip. Number 4, this is the idea of guts. Everybody has guts, but you have to know in the common sense that you are following your gut. Your gut is honestly the best tool, because if you know if you're right, your gut will instantly say, hey, Olivia, you're telling people about how Nickelodeon should do more commercials like these. And that is interesting. That is appealing. And if this doesn't work, I don't know what you are going to do with the rest of your... Well, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know how in the world you're going to come up with that. And this leads to my last tip. Number 5. Be natural. And being natural is the easiest way to say that you are ready. In the sense, if you're natural, you are able to give people that your presence and following with your gut and the rest of the tips I've showed you, they will obviously say, hey, you know that it's your battle, and you will probably win. And if you lose, then you either might have skipped a step, or I probably didn't give you enough information. But this is my common sense theory to be able to identify and know, to have the knowledge of what your topic is about, demonstrate an example, follow your gut all the way, and be natural about your presentation. And if you have any other questions, or if you would like to have more information about me or my other blogs, you could just go to you could follow along, and if not, you could just send me a contact email at my email address. It's oqrounds@plymouth.edu. And that is all for this week's blog. And I'll come back in a few weeks with another podcast video update.